Darion Colbert may look comfortable here, but he's nervous about middle school. He is scared his habits might get him in trouble in a new environment.
Oh, no, I'm not drawing next year. Like, I can't draw in class. I'm not even allowed to draw class this year, but I still do. That's like a thing. That's not a bad, it's a bad thing. Yeah, it's a habit. It's what I do.
That other voice you hear is Ollie Fowler, fellow fifth grader and Darion's best friend. They wanted to be interviewed together, and he confirmed Darion's habit of drawing in class.
It's what I do. I draw. If I get a piece of paper, I would draw on it. Even on my tests, I draw. But they be like small though. It's like small so nobody won't see them. But it's like I draw like a little small head and stuff like that.
Luckily, Darion has an outlet for his drawing in the art classroom. Dan Smith, Darion's art teacher at Barnett Shoals Elementary, says tapping into kids' talents and individual ways of learning is as simple as giving them a piece of paper.
Those little things that seem kind of inconsequential that you can give them an opportunity to think visually with.
Smith wants to provide his fifth grade students with a fun environment that also serves as a creative outlet, and he's making it happen with the help of the Bill Braxton Collins grant from AthFest Educates. Executive Director of AthFest Educates, Jill Helm, explains exactly what the nonprofit organization is about.
So AthFest Educates is the parent organization. It's the 501c3. We produce two events, the AthFest Music and Arts Festival and the Ath Half Half Marathon, and those two events are the fundraisers that make it possible to actually do the mission of the organization, which is to award grants to support music and arts education for kindergarten through 8th grade youth here in Athens.
Smith is using his grant from AthFest Educates to create Barnett Shoals Elementary's first ever legacy project. The fifth grade students played an important role in the brainstorming process for what exactly the project would be.
With the kids, we kind of made them brainstorm the first time just to see what they came up with. And I've just been talking about legacy and what do they want to leave here. When they come back here next year or 10 years from now, what do they want to see that they left? Because they'll be able to see their thing that they put on there. If it's a self-portrait or a picture of another one of the kids or a teacher or something, they've kind of left a little mark as part of that art.
This project is benefiting students in more ways than just them getting to explore the meaning of their personal legacy.
All of the research everywhere will tell you that when a young person is engaged in art and is engaged in music, the benefits to both their social emotional well-being as well as their academic success are heightened.
Helm is right. According to Americans for the Arts, students involved in the arts are 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement.
And we just know that those are pieces that are really important to help young people do well. Not to mention that Athens is this town that is so centered on music and arts.
AthFest Educates grants are about more than just projects. For his grant, Smith has partnered up with local artist Jamie Culkin to benefit both the kids and the Athens art community.
I think, well, it's great for artists to actually be in schools, and it's good for the artists, it's good for the kids, it's good for the teachers, hopefully.
Smith seems to agree.
Yeah, maybe just having somebody else here and a little change of pace and something different, I think that's good.
Smith's grant follows the trend of recruiting the help of professional artists.
Any of the grants that have allowed young people to work with professional artists, I think all of those are amazing opportunities for young people to see that you can make a career out of this and you can pursue this particular passion. And we funded a lot of those where professional artists are going in.
Grants allowing artists to go into schools are not only beneficial for students. According to the Center for Cultural Innovation for National Endowment for the Arts, the artist's world is competitive. Adequate, reliable employment is elusive, and philanthropic interventions like gifts, grants, and awards are modest and irregular.
I mean, I think Athens does have a ton of creative people, and so it makes sense to have some money to give them to do it. I mean, there's a ton of things that I want to do, but it's the money that means that I can do it and can commit to that time and energy.
Smith is showing support for local artists like Culkin and their livelihoods by incorporating them into his grants.
having an opportunity to, you know, pay the artist, I think is pretty important, instead of asking artists all the time to volunteer or donate things. I think it's important to find ways to keep that financial commitment to the arts in our community available.
To keep the financial commitment to the arts in Athens available, Smith incorporated Culkin into the Legacy Project by having him demonstrate how to paint with watercolors for the students.
I do love working in front of other people, but I think the other thing is just being safe to do my thing and knowing that Dan's going to take care of everything else.
Next, the kids were free to translate their legacy onto a piece of paper. Smith says the response from students has been positive.
You know, everybody's engaged. They're all working pretty much the whole time here. I mean, we haven't had any kid that's folded his arms and said, "I'm not doing it," which is, you know, elementary school. You got 100 kids in a grade level. You're going to get 2 or 3 to do that. But I think everybody's picked it up and really been part of it. So that's pretty unusual.
Anthony Hall is just one of the 5th grade students that are engaged and excited to share their legacies. He describes what he will be leaving behind at Barnett Shoals Elementary.
Being nice and kind to others.
This experience painting has even inspired his future endeavors with art.
I might, like in middle school, paint people like playing football and basketball because I really love sports.
Culkin used the students' artwork to influence what he would create to display their work. He did not know what to expect when creating his part of the Legacy Project.
I am convinced that what they have on those 30 squares is going to be an interesting thing to try and connect into a bit.
Ultimately, Culkin painted 3 different settings in and around Barnett Shoals Elementary onto large panels that will be hung up in the school. Each child's artwork will be found on the panels along with Culkin's paintings. Students are not always aware of the grant process their teachers went through to enhance their educations.
For a lot of kids, they don't know that the money came from AFFEST Educates, right? They just know that whatever adult is standing in front of them is making this opportunity happen. And that's fine for us because we're not looking for the recognition. We're looking for the creativity of these educators to come out and to encourage these young people.
AFFEST Educates and grant recipients like Smith are dedicated to creating a positive and unique environment for kids.
When they come here, some of them have an opportunity to do things that they can't do other places. And when you reach one of those kids and they come through, it's just like, that's kind of why you do it. And that's the reward of teaching, I guess, ultimately.
Thanks to the creativity of Dan Smith, Barnett Shoals Elementary's first ever Legacy Project was born, and more children are continuing to be reached. This is Alexandra Travis for Multi-Platform Story Production.